Hey guys, welcome to January 2024 Project Life and my first spread. I want to point out that the idea for this spread was from Heba on Instagram. She does some wonderful pages in her traveler's notebooks, and although I'm doing 6x8, I just had to use her spread as inspiration. So go ahead and check her out. There is her handle over there on Instagram. My photos are about 4.5 inches for the larger one by 3, and then the smaller ones are about 2.25 by 3. I'm going to put them across these 2 pages. In here in the middle, I have space because a photo is going to go between the text. And then on the other side, I have some word art and a half circle. And those other 2 photos are going to go between those 2. Okay. And then I'll add some embellishments to spice it up a bit. But once again, this was inspired by Heba, and I just wanted to point that out. There is some hidden journaling that I just pointed out there as well. And I'll show you how I'm going to put that together. I am deciding whether I want the pictures to be towards the outside of the pages or the inside. And so I decided the inside. I'll adhere the smaller ones down permanently. And I'll do the same thing for the large one, but I will only put adhesive on the sides, not the top or the bottom, because I'm using this piece of transparency to add some hidden journaling underneath the photo. I printed out the additional text on white cardstock, and I am just going to adhere that white cardstock to the top of a transparency and then cut off the edges, and this is going to slide behind the larger photo, and then the viewer can pull that out to read the additional journaling. I'm deciding here on black or yellow little puffy stickers, and I go with the yellow so I can add just a little bit more color. All of my text and word art and such, that's all black, and I just thought that pulling out some colors would be great because my photos have some colors, so I'm kind of pulling that together. I'm putting down the puffy letter stickers, and I'm not really pushing them down because I want to make sure that I place them just right so that they are not in the way of the holes when I punch it to go into my album. So I end up moving those a little bit closer to the holes, and I like the placement better in that fashion. Then I'll go ahead and I try to punch the holes, but I think one of the puffy stickers got in the way, or maybe the thickness of the cardstock in the photos was too much, but I had to punch each page individually, which is perfectly fine. So here they are. I am going to be putting a chipboard 1, a chipboard 2, and a chipboard 3 on each of the photos. So I will adhere those down. And then the journaling underneath the photo explains the 1, the 2, and the 3. So I think that one's going to need a tab on the top of it. In the meantime, though, I decide I'm going to put this half circle chipboard piece in my half circle, like the outline of it. And there's my little bowl of tabs that I love so much. I think I end up with a blue tab. I'm not really sure. I was just, again, trying to put a little bit of color in. And I decide on a blue one. And then with this patterned paper, I'm going to make a phrase strip with these transparent sticker phrases from Ali Edwards. So I do believe I also end up using the part of that patterned paper that is blue as well. So kind of balancing the blue on one page and then on the other. And I will take the phrase that I chose and I will just put it on the blue, and then I will cut it down so it's a phrase strip. And I'm going to put it partially over the half circle as well. And because it's partially over that chipboard piece, I do pull out some foam adhesive, and I cut a little just a little strip of foam adhesive to put onto the left side of the phrase because it was kind of pushing down, just to make the whole thing even with the chipboard. So that's all that I did there. And it's not necessary, but it just kind of made me feel a little bit better about how it was sitting on the page. And then I'll go ahead and I will adhere my blue tab to the top of the transparency, and then I will call it done. So there is my first spread for July, inspired by Heba. And now we're going to move to the second one. And this one wasn't just inspired by someone, but it was actually just scrap lifted. So I have a large photo. I have 2 pieces of patterned paper. And then I have a 3x4 journal card that I cut a tab onto. And so this was inspired because of CJ Flynn. And we are in Simple Scrapper doing a, it be inspired by somebody assignment. And CJ, who is on Instagram as Ink Paper Photos, did this for Summer of Sketches this year for Studio Calico, and I fell in love with it. So I just completely shamelessly lifted the entire thing. Okay, so there was her handle there as well if you want to check her out. Okay, so let's punch some holes in these 2 pieces. Again, I'm making pockets, so I'm actually going to have 2 pockets. The 3x4 is going to get sewn, and you'll see here I sewed it to the top paper, which is another Ali Edwards pattern. And then I am going to use adhesive on the bottom and the sides to make a second pocket for a menu. So here is a tag. I'm going to add an eyelet to this tag. These eyelets come with fronts and backs. I think I use the front and the back of the eyelet here. I'm not actually sure that's necessary to be honest, but I did. And so I have a little eyelet there, and then inside is my tag, and then in the back pocket is going to be my menu. So I'm just going to stamp the date on the bottom here, and then you'll see that simple, easy peasy, done. Thank you, CJ, for the inspiration for this spread. Let's go ahead and move on to the next spread in July, which is using an Ali Edwards paper that is pre-printed, and I'm also using these Vellum papers or Vellum cards from the July Scrapbook by the Month kit. And I did make a 6 because it was 1 through 5, and I used the digital stamp to make a 6. Going to tell 6 separate stories here with my 3x4 photos on the back of June. So I'm going to also have a 3x8 so I could fit all of my journaling on top of each photo in its own pocket. So let's punch some holes in there. And I am going to stamp some numbers on this paper, but I end up putting my photos in the pockets first. So let's get those photos in. I have to put them in a certain order because I already have my journaling done and everything is already in order on that page. So I'm figuring out where I want to put the pictures versus where I want to put the filler pieces, because I have 2 filler cards made of vellum as well. So now you're going to see me speed this up super, super quick because I pull out a type stamp set from the type kit. It was an add-on with the Ali Edwards type kit many, many moons ago, and I still love it. I still love it, and I am using Stays-On inks in different colors to put a little bit of information about the photo underneath the numbers. And I think it says, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that underneath the number, it says this story or the story. And so I'm putting additional information underneath that. And I have different colored inks that are Stays-On. So they work really, really well on vellum. I didn't want to take a chance with other inks on vellum because sometimes some of them dry, but most of them you need to emboss. So Stays-On is the way to go with this. So yeah, as I'm doing this, I'm moving quickly and kind of alternating colors. I have an orange, I have a red, and I think I have a blue, and then 2 different greens. So just putting some words underneath there. And then you're going to also see, once I am done putting the words on, that I pull another old stamp out. And I can't even remember when this last stamp was from, but it's another Ali Edwards, and it says, "Remember this." And then there's also little phrase stamps, and this one says, "A little story about my life." So again, black stays on above the numbers for that. And then all I do at this point is make sure that my photos are fitting nicely into the pockets. Some of them were a little large when I cut them out, so I will trim them down. And then I will use some score tape to adhere the vellum on top of the page protector. And that will make it a flip up so that the viewer can kind of sort of see the picture through the vellum. and they can see, you know, on top of the vellum what the story's about or what the picture is going to be about. And then they can pick up the vellum to take a closer look at the picture. So that is really fun to add things outside of the page protector as well. So I do that from 1 to 6. And this is a 1/4-inch score tape. So it's thin, and because it's on white, you cannot see it through the vellum. So that worked out really, really well for me. You could also staple if you wanted to. And that is that spread. And then I pull out the July scrapbook by the month numbers. And on my paper where I've already added my journaling, I am going to use the same StazOn ink. And I'm only using StazOn for this because I want to keep the colors consistent with what I stamped on the vellum. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And whatever color I used for 1 on the vellum is the color that I am using next to the paragraph for 1 with the numbers. So you'll see that I think it's blue, green, orange, red, green, and green. I'm pretty sure that's how it ends up. But again, that's just one of my quirky ways. You can stamp in whatever color your little heart desires, but I just thought that was fun. And by the way, I love the numbers on this stamp set. So let's stamp the date. Just July 2024 because it's all different dates. And let's move on to the next spread. Okay, so this one is about an event that we had with my friends at their lake house. And I have a lot of stuff in here. I have photos that are already cut to 2 by 2 using the passport punch. And I also have a whole bunch of die cuts. And there's my 2 by 2 page protector. And I have these pieces. They are tags that I already printed some journaling on. And here are the die cuts. I'm thinking on adding some circles. I'm not sure how that will go. So I also have the chipboard set here as well. This is another journaling prompt paper from Ali Edwards that I printed my stories onto and printed out. And then my 2 huge photos, full page photos to begin the spread, and then a full page photo to end the spread. Okay, so let's get started and punch the holes in this one. My plan is to fussy cut out those 2 shapes that I just showed you on the Ali Edwards paper. So I am going to add them into one of the 4 by 6 page protectors and have it kind of flip back and forth. I didn't want to adhere it directly to the photo. I wanted both of these pieces that I'm cutting out to be back to back, and I wanted you to be able to flip it and view both of them. So once I get done fussy cutting them, I am going to adhere this full page photo to the back of that last spread. Make sure it has the holes punched in it. And then I pull out this page protector and I slide that in. And so those 2 pieces are back to back. And you'll see that when I put that in there. I use a little piece of score tape to hold it in place, but you're going to see at the end of this video that I completely changed that up. So I'm not going to make a big deal now about it, but I didn't like the way it was in the page protector, so I'll show you at the end how I changed that. Now I will take my pieces that are going to go in my pockets, and I kind of just laid my photos out. I think I laid them out in the order of like how they happened during the day. And then I'm just going to put most of the pockets with photos, and then 2 of the pockets will remain open so I can put some circles back to back just to kind of mix up. I could have put photos in all of the squares, but I wanted to add some circles. So you'll see I made the July Joys die cut piece smaller. I also did the same for this July Joy and slipped those into the pockets. And then I found a piece of chipboard as well. So 3 pieces from the die cuts that I cut down, and then 1 piece of the chipboard. And I'll just adhere them together and put them in the pockets as well. Once I'm done with that, I'll pull out the next photo that is full page. And you'll see I have the journaling for the next story that is going to go back to back. So I just went ahead and did that. Okay, so that is easy and done already. And then this treatment on here is just going to be a pocket that I cut off of a page protector. I'm going to adhere that with score tape to the middle of the photo. And then I am going to put those 2 tags inside of the pocket with the boom tag showing. And then I am going to have the journaling on the other side. So I may add a ribbon in there. I'm not really sure. But that brings us to the next spread, which is about an event with some friends that we did, a Geo-tag event. I made a collage. The way I have this worked out is I didn't want to do another pocket page. So I just made a collage with the photos in there. I have some different photos. I have some additional die cuts from the July Scrapbook by the Month kit. And I have a little phone that I punched out with a circle punch. And I have a citrus twist page protector as well. And then this fun packaging, which has like the street map thing on it. And I did that because we were walking around the neighborhood while we were doing this, and it kind of fit very well with my theme. So here is my full page photo. This is going to end. It's going to end the spread. And here's the one that I created earlier. That's going to go in the middle. So on the back of the photo, I am putting the photo collage that I made, and then I will punch my holes and put that in. The pocket is next, so I'll flip that over. Here is the citrus twist page protector. These are all screenshots from the game that we played. And then I have a tag from July as well. And I want to put the phone on that. So it's a little bit skinnier than my photos, so I'll kind of cut this photo down a little bit. And then I will adhere that little phone piece on there and slide that in. And then the back side is the remaining screenshots from our game that we played. And some of those needed to be trimmed just a hair to fit in there nicely. And I'll take the pocket page out. And that is where I'm going to place this packaging with the map design on it. And this is kind of a filler page. I made some spreads ahead of time for an assignment, so I had to kind of finagle through, and I had to add a filler page here. So again, more stuff from the July Scrapbook by the Month kit. I hung one tag off of the other with some twine, and then I will cut that longer tag as well because I wanted it to be shorter. I'll adhere that to there, cut the tag, add that in, and I'll put back the items that were in the pockets on that page. So that was super, super easy to add that little piece in. And flipping over, we get to the end. And we have another spread coming up here. So this is from yet another, I have a lot of 6x8 papers in here this time around. A lot of stories to tell in July. But this is from another page from Allie Edwards, pre-printed boxes. And I added the journaling to the bottom of the boxes. And then I printed out some photos to fill the top of the boxes. This will be adhered directly to the back side of my full page photo. So I will do that now, and I will punch the holes, and then I will start to lay out my photos. They have to be in the right spot. And then I printed out these little dates. I'll show you here. I slowed it down a little bit to show you. I ended up printing these out. The kit for July came with stickers for this purpose. So I'll show you the stickers here, but I messed them up big time. So I ended up just using the digital version of those labels and adding the dates to them. So that's how that turned out. But otherwise, I was just going to add the dates and print it right onto the stickers, but didn't work out, and that happens. So adhering down the photos, and then taking my adhesive and adhering down the dates on each of the photos. This is kind of like a mix of things that happened during the month. So no specific theme like the other event pages, just little things that happened during the month. And they are all, like the journaling's already typed on there, so I have to put the photos in certain places. And I'm just putting the photo down, and then I am just adding the date on the top. And then in the middle, I am going to use the July Vellum to fill that spot. So I'll use my pencil and I will cut that down to fit inside of the white space. And I picked a chipboard piece out. I'm not sure which piece I picked out, But once I adhered July down, yeah, there we go. I think, yep, I picked the blue, I guess, banner chipboard to put on top of there. So very colorful, very fun, very easy. And that's the end of that one. Super, super quick. Now, I do have one more spread to add, and it's going to be on the back of one of the other spreads that I created earlier. And so I have a full page photo. I have a transparency that matches the size. I think it's 5 by 8 1/4. And then I have another photo and then a vellum pocket with journaling and then some chipboard and die cuts that I'm going to add. But what I really need to do is get this measured up against the spread that it's going to be attached to. So you'll see I pull that spread out here and I put the one page into the rings. And then the other page, I am going to adhere to the back of the full page photo so that all of these kind of go together. Like I just mentioned, this happened because I did 2 of the spreads weeks before I did the other 3. And so I kind of had to figure out how will all of these fit together and flow together. And so this is what I came up with. So let's get that adhered to the back of that, and we're going to use a hole punch to punch the holes in there so that it fits into the rings. And we're going to punch the holes in the transparency as well. On top of the photo, I'm going to place the vellum pocket. And then on top of the vellum pocket, I believe I'm going to add a die cut. I'm not sure. But on the back side, I have the other photo. So I have the die cut and the chipboard, and I think I kind of go back and forth to where I want both of those. But the die cut ended up on the vellum, and then the chipboard ended up on the smaller photo. I really wanted to put it on the larger photo. I don't know. I just couldn't get myself to like it. So it went underneath the bird feeder on the smaller photo. So that is it, guys. That was a lot. I know that was a lot. That was a lot for July, but it was a busy, busy month, and I wanted to get a lot of information in there. So let's take a look at the end result. So here is the first spread with the number vellum 3x4 cards and the stamping. Love the way it looks. What did I change here? I added some chipboard to the star piece. You'll see there's a half circle, there's a rectangle, and then there's a phrase all in chipboard. And I also added little gold stars to the zeros on all of those 3x4 vellum cards. So again, and I think the tab I also added. But you know me, I do change things afterwards. So I wanted to point that out. Here I wanted to point out that I got rid of that half 3x4 page protector. And I ended up just mounting that piece with the story and then the other piece that is opposite of it on acetate because it was just too floppy. It was too floppy and it was just kind of sagging down and I really didn't like it. So I think I might have also added the chipboard phrase and the date onto the large photo as well. But I make changes and I just like to point them out to you. So when you flip that over, you will see July Evening Magic is on there. And again, that is on a piece of acetate. And I did add a blue tab to the side of that as well. And then when you flip the pocket page over, I did not like that dark blue. I think it said July Joys or something. So I pulled out a piece of chipboard, Seek Fun. I couldn't really read it. It just looked too dark to me. On Boom, I added a piece of ribbon. So I thought I was going to end up doing something like that. And I went for the ribbon as opposed to twine. And then when you flip that over in the pocket, there's a little bit more of my story on that die cut piece. If you want to read that, you can pause the video. Just a little tiny story, right? Okay, so let's move on to the next spread, which is about a Geo-tag event that we participated in. Again, another pre-printed page from Ali Edwards. I did put the big date with the, I think it's called the mega date stamp or something from Studio Calico. I felt like there needed to be something on that side. So I did add that. Again, another tab on the collage. And then you flip that over. I don't think I changed anything here. I think I just kind of let everything go as it was. So that, again, is unusual for me not to change something, but I was happy with how that was. So that stayed the same. And then if you look at the next picture, you'll see my journaling. If you're interested in reading that, you can pause here and take a look at what I wrote about that particular story. There is a menu inside of that other pocket that I didn't pull out as well. So turn that page. There's my filler page with the packaging and the tags from July. And I added a star to the phone and a tab to the Citrus Twist page protector. And then you flip that over, and then I look, I added 2 chipboard pieces to the large photo. So I just kind of went through my stash and pulled out 2 pieces to give that a little bit of embellishment as well. And then flipping that over, I did not make any changes to these 2 pages. So everything is the way it should be there. And then moving on, after flipping over the transparency, I did not make any changes to either one of these as well. I didn't want to embellish this photo. I don't know. Sometimes I want to and sometimes I don't. I think we all feel that way at times. And then for the last spread in this month, you see my page that I created all the way in the beginning of this video. And once again, I apologize for this video being so long, but I just had a lot going on in July. And so I wanted to document a lot of stuff and things. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Leave a comment below. Reach out to me on Instagram. I'm always happy to answer. And I guess we will see you guys when I am going to be working on my August project life. Thanks for joining me, guys. We'll see you soon.